Basketball fans, it's that time of the week again, your favorite time to talk hoops, NBA hoops specifically. This is the Hangout. I am Akil Augustine, and as always, I have a host of fellow NBA fans and experts that want to talk the game that we love so much. So let's get things started. I introduce you to Dan Gladman, who was present at a huge win for the Toronto Raptors, 4-1, tying a franchise record for the start of the season.
Awesome game last night. Leaped out of my chair.
Out of the producer's chair.
Out of the producer's chair. It was. Never do that. Don't try it at home, but it had to be done.
All right. The man rocking that sweet blue on heather gray On Point sweater. I was rocking that red and black last week. That's my man Drew from On Point. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And the young lady, you know her as Sports Nation, of course, one of our favorite journalists, Nadine. Thank you for coming out.
No problem.
All right, let's get into it, guys. The Toronto Raptors beat the Celtics 110-107 in a game that was actually, despite the roughness of the first half and especially that first quarter, it was very enjoyable to watch the end of that game. First off, though, the Toronto Raptors are 4-1. Your impressions, your takeaways, I'll start with you, Nadine. From that game, your Toronto Raptors coming out really lackadaisical without the effort that's expected.
Well, you know what? I think they're starting to become like the Lakers. The Lakers, I know I always talk about the Lakers.
Squeeze the Lakers in.
I always squeeze the Lakers in, but they play like that. They were really lax in the first quarter, and they bring it on in the second half. And I just think that they can do it now against these weak teams, but when they face these big teams, they can't do that. They have to learn how to execute from the start.
The Toronto Raptors trailed by 16 twice in that game, of course. They had a big mountain to climb. Drew, it took a whole lot of effort from Kyle Lowry. He practically broke his back to bring this team back. Is it fair for the Toronto Raptors, even with the injury concerns right now, to expect that kind of performance from Kyle?
Well, you're not going to get that from Kyle every single game, and you hope that your point guard doesn't have to be the savior. But just having a guy like that can turn it on, the confidence we've seen, you know he wants to be an all-star. I think he's just playing incredible. But they have pieces. They have DeMar. They have JV when he comes back. They have Amir. So, you know, this is a team, and they're going to rely on the team, I think, going forward.
It was an all-star performance last night. No question about it. Maybe, you know, in the early season might have been the best individual performance of the season. But I know they're starting off slow, but it's only November. They've only played 5 games. I'm not making excuses for anyone, but it was frigid in TD Garden on the court last night. And
yep.
It took them a while to adjust. And, you know, at 4-1.
But we're from the north, man.
Well,
we're used to the cold.
No, it was ice in there.
Here's a question
night.
for you, though. Can they afford to have starts like that against quality teams? I mean, the best team we've played so far was Miami, a team that we did not beat. But you cannot come out like this, and it's kind of become the status quo with this group moving forward.
Well, Well, on Friday, they actually play the Eastern Conference leading Wizards. Like, who would have thought you would say that? But John Wall, no, you did not say that.
Okay, you're right.
But John Wall, he's balling with the Wizards right now, even though Bradley Beal's out. So they need to come out guns blazing against the Wizards on Friday.
Listen, you mentioned some injuries. Amir Johnson, Jonas Valanciunas, okay, both did not perform. So a couple of the guys off the bench were called in, of course, Tyler Hansbrough, Patrick Patterson, those guys were called in. Steamsman got some minutes. But this group is thin up front. That's going to be a concern for the Toronto Raptors as they move forward. Do you think they have enough with the remaining pieces in the front court?
Are they thin, though? I mean, 2 guys are out of the lineup, so it looks like
I mean, weight-wise, you're looking at Steamsman. He's tall,
yeah,
but he's not going to move any bigs
I think
around.
In Boston, you know, James Johnson played big.
Incredible.
Patrick Patterson played big. And they got some really good minutes from Hansbrough and even Steamsma.
Yeah.
So I
Except
think
for that rip blow-by that he got from Bass.
Well, look, that's going to happen now and then. I think the depth was on display last night, and we've seen it. Coach Casey's using 9-10 man rotation every night, and they're getting contributions from every spot on the court.
Okay, what's going on with Terrence Ross? What is going on with Terrence Ross right now? We got to throw that one out there. I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, you go first.
He doesn't even want to talk on this.
I don't want to talk about it.
Terrence is a young guy. It takes years sometimes, a few years for guys to catch on. For this team, it doesn't seem like he kind of knows his full role right yet. You know, he should know it, you think, by now, but he's still a young guy. I think they got to make plays for him that, you know, highlight his athleticism, get him going to the basket, get him showing off what he can really do. I mean, he's kind of sitting outside trying to launch shots from the outside. I don't think that's his game.
Well, last year I think it was 38.5% from 3, which is an amazing percentage. He is lower on that this year. But the Raptors can score points with their eyes closed. Okay, they're scoring.
So they need him on the defensive end. And
They do
athleticism.
need him
It's defense.
Yes.
That is his job, and I think that that is what he has to focus on right now. If he's missing shots or not being aggressive, that's something that is going to come. But if there's one thing they really would want to see more of, it's his defensive presence.
All right, now, last night, of course, Rajon Rondo in the building, messed around, got a triple-double. But the backcourt of the Toronto Raptors is something to talk about. I was kind of worried about some of the shots DeMar was taking, of course, a lot of ISO stuff. But Kyle Lowry, we mentioned him, 35 points, a Raptor career high, one short of his career high, period. That was a very impressive performance from a guy who hadn't shown us exactly what we saw from him last year, Nadine, last night. So how big was that for you as Raptors fans, seeing that Kyle's ready to go?
Well, I think last year Kyle Lowry did really well, and I think he's just building off of that. You know what I mean? And I think from the start of the season, he's shown this Raptors team that he is a leader, and no matter what, that they can count on him.
He's been a leader, but it's been a slow offensive.
Right, but I think end of the day, they know that they can count on him to make those big shots, and I think he's stepped up.
No, damn right. He did step up. Kyle Lowry balling out of control. We're thankful to have him. So the next thing we're going to do on the break after we come back, we got to talk about some more NBA business, guys. Still more to come. We got a special feature from Chicago. Of course, that's coming up in the third block. But we got to talk about Cleveland. Cleveland. And my man, Butler, making his money, of course. We're talking about Gordon Hayward hitting money shots against LeBron James and Tristan Thompson. We'll be back. Hangout.